The best coverage of high school and college athletics in Northeast North Carolina begins now. This is NENC Sports Radio Show on WRVS 89.9.
We're a quota down in episodes of the Corner's top sports radio show, number 25, that is, in the third season. I'm Owen Hassel. With me, as always, Malcolm Shields. Some milestones reached in the past few days. Northeastern girls basketball's Brianna Proctor with 1,000+ rebounds. Just a junior. Curry Tuck's Lindsay Likens eclipsed 1,000 points on Tuesday for her career. Maybe lost in those recent happenings, Camden's Zach Roberson. He had 1,000 points, Malcolm, back in December.
Yep. Probably
not much of a stunner, given the way he shoots from outside. Currently third all-time in scoring at the school. Slight asterisk about the all-time. We say during Mark Harnley's time. He's been there 20-some years. Not a lot of stats kept before Harnley. I'm going to go ahead and say third all-time because Camden basketball had its struggles before Harnley took over. And he is behind, I believe, Shaquille Joyner and Randy Kraniak. Or Ricky Kraniak, not his dad, Randy, but Ricky Kraniak, who went on to play at Campbell. Probably won't catch Ricky. I think Ricky is at least 200, 300, 400 points ahead of Zach's mark. But still, that's very huge, third all-time at the school. So we got conference tournament and playoff time. That's going to be here, probably in just a few more days, it seems like. It's right about here. But before we dig deeper into that, for more on Northeastern North Carolina sports, follow us on Twitter. Also use that hashtag NENC Sports to keep the discussion rolling. You can follow us at NENC Sports. Then for me, I'm at ONOBX. Malcolm?
I'm at Malcolm_Shields.
And there's more ways to stay involved with sports in Northeastern North Carolina in the form of a blog. Go to nencsports.wordpress.com for all sorts of good things about sports in the Northeast corner. Who's our best of the best in NENC high school hoops? Find out next.
WRVS 89.9 provides training for all students and volunteers interested in radio broadcasting. But without your donations, this radio station will go silent. Let's make a sound today. Now is a great time to give back to public radio. Make a tax-deductible donation by calling 252-335-3985 or online at www.ecsu.edu/WRVS.
Call someone who listen and might give a damn.
Oh, now we care.
Yeah.
We care about Northeastern North Carolina, especially the athletic side of it. Before we break into more of the basketball talk, because obviously plenty of that going on, high school and college, I want to give our best to Coach Eric McDaniels, of course, former Northeastern football coach, now leading Roanoke Rapids. Went to the hospital on Tuesday, stayed in intensive care, congestive heart failure in Roanoke Rapids. He's one of our first guests when we started putting this show on WRVS 89.9 FM back in late 2014. Always a friend, and you can make the strong argument his family built Northeastern Athletic Complex. Last check, doing a lot better, though. Transferred to Wake Med in Raleigh just as a precaution, but doing a lot better. So that's great news. Definitely was a shock to a lot of us covering sports here to hear that he had gone to the hospital. He checked himself into the hospital. And Malcolm, if you know Coach McDaniels, he's pretty stubborn, hard-headed, like a lot of guys. So he must have known something was really not going on when he took himself to the hospital, and good thing he did. Health, number one priority. And looks like he's doing a lot better. So definitely a speedy recovery. Thoughts and prayers to Eric McDaniels and his family on that recovery. Wild Tuesday in the Coastal 10 Conference boys race, because that's certainly still in contention, Malcolm. Camden and Perquimans emerged as co-leaders as the Bruins won at Plymouth and the Pirates bested Gates in overtime. Those teams meet again, Camden, Plymouth, Perquimans, Gates, next week. Now, if Gates and Plymouth win those, you've got yourself a four-way tie for the conference title. A coin flip determines the champ for playoff purposes, of course. and the overall record decides the other three seeding. No conference tournament this year. Wow, you could have a conference champion on the road first round because they are considered like the fourth team out of the league. Overall record may allow them to be home still. It's possible. I think there's a good chance, but the possibility is also there. They're on the road. Malcolm, who do you like to win this thing? If there's going to be one true overall winner, who do you like?
I'm still going to stick with Plymouth. Even though Canham, shocked them on Tuesday night, I think the Vikings may have a chance to, find a way to sneak it out of the four.
Yeah, winning at Plymouth is no small task. Of course, Perquimans went to Plymouth and won, and on the one hand, Plymouth didn't really have their football players ready. I don't mean that it's not a knock on Perquimans. They went and played them, had a chance to win, got the victory. Plymouth went to Perquimans and won, so they've split the series. But other than that, going to Plymouth and getting a win in any year is a big accomplishment. Perhaps, could we look at Gates? I mean, I've talked to Coach Mark Harlan at Camden. Mm-hmm. He thinks Gates is the most complete team of the four.
I mean, they certainly had a chance the first time they met at Camden. I mean, if Robert Walker can make a jump shot, doesn't have the turnovers, I mean, we could be talking about Gates having the sweep in that series.
To Walker's credit, he did make the jump shot in Gatesville.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
To win that game, a game winner. It's just a lot of the madness once again with this Coastal 10 Conference where could still be looking at four teams tied for first in that conference. Now, when it comes to the girls, I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Plymouth wins the Coastal 10. Already is clinch Coastal 10. No one's come close with the Lady Vikings and Bertie for the Northeastern Coastal. Still undefeated, just doing what they've got to do. Really haven't been pushed a whole lot either, neither one of the teams. Perhaps the comeback coming with Northeastern's girls. They kept Pasquotank from clinching second in the conference. The Lady Knights on their way to finishing second for a third straight year.
They've got the possibility. Even though they've been dealing with injuries, they got a clutch win on Tuesday night. If they can get healthy here at the end of the season, maybe they can make some noise there in the conference playoffs.
It seemed like Pasquotank had this wrapped up, and what's keeping Pasquotank from being second in the conference right now?
It just seems like kind of the same thing from last year. They'll be up and down, and you thought that with another year they have a little bit more maturity. But again, on Tuesday night against Currituck, it was a struggle for them to get anything going offensively. It was going to be interesting to see how they come out on Friday night against Northeastern.
Well, Currituck lost to Northeastern in Barco on Friday. Brianna Proctor, like we said, surpassed 1,000 rebounds for her career. Hit the game winner, 43-42. If I'm looking correctly, on Wednesday night, Currituck returned the favor on Northeastern. And that just goes to show you that they're right there. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying this because Coach Matt Dixon has dealt with a lot of injuries, a lot of different things going on. Just last Friday against Northeastern, Jessica Smith goes down, hurt again, goes to the bench, but later comes back and plays some minutes, helps them out because she's a good ball handler, and she was walking around, fighting it off, went back in the game for a few minutes. Lauren Gurney fouls out of the game. She's safe. She's on the bench. No, she's not. Jasmine Jones from Northeastern, she's going after the ball, of course, nothing malicious by it. Just happens to run right into Lauren Gurney sitting there on the bench, and she goes and hits her head on the back of the bleachers. She's hurt for a while. But you know what? She walks it off, and she's pretty tough. It's just a lot of toughness from both teams last Friday, and a really good game. One of my favorite girls' games to see this year was Northeastern at Currituck, and it looks like Currituck returned the favor against Northeastern on Wednesday, so they're still in line for second in the conference. Looks like Pasquotank will have to beat Northeastern again. Or no, Northeastern had to beat Pasquotank on Friday at the Vaughn Center, ECSU, to make that happen. So there's still some things they have to shake out here. A little bit of craziness still after you look past Bertie. But Lindsay Likens also went down in that game. she's clutching her ankle after a shot. And I'm going, here we go. I said, what? Matt Dixon's looking at me, shaking his head. I just put my hands up. I didn't know what to tell him. But you know what? She gets back up and she goes back and keeps playing. Just a gritty game on both ends. You hate to see somebody lose a game like that. But again, Curry Tuck's girls just keep on fighting. A lot of heart. And I know Coach Dixon, if nothing else is happening, they're showing that. And could be a dangerous team come playoff time. Really could. And we know what Bertie's got. Bertie should go a few rounds in the playoffs. But if there's another team I think that's built for a 2 or maybe 3 round postseason run, fully healthy, it would be Curry Tuck because of the ball handlers, because of the shooting of a Lauren Gurney, and of someone like Lindsey Glikens, who is showing some range. Her first shot against Northeastern Friday was a 3. She jumps right out there and hits them. And, okay, now I see why she's got 1,000 career points. Some things you're not expected to see, and that was one of them, but she drained it. Hertford County boys clinched the conference regular season. I was going to say could finish undefeated in the conference till I got a certain text and a few other things of First Flight beating Hertford County. That's Hertford County's first loss in the league. First Flight, the fighting Chad Williams 3-pointers, knocked off the Bears. I believe it was 81-75. Dylan Blake, 20 points. Devin Dotson, 19. Cole Bass Knight, 16. It's just, wow. a lot of big contributors for Coach Chad Williams and company. Did you see this one coming?
Couldn't see it coming. I mean, you thought that with the athletes that Hertford County has, that they'd be able to get up the court and get some easy baskets. But again, give Coach Chad Williams some credit there.
Well, you've looked at Hertford County. You've seen them a couple times. Obviously, we know about the battles, the wars with Northeastern, and both of them going to overtime, all of that stuff. But they have had their struggles, even with pulling out victories. Trailed Edenton at home after 3 quarters, trailed Curry Tuck after 3 quarters. They've had some games, more than a few games that have been tight. So maybe this was bound to happen. Even though Hertford County already sealed up the league, maybe they were a little relaxed and knew that they already had the conference one would get the 1 seed in the tournament regardless of what happened against First Flight. But you can't count out a team that's going to shoot from the outside like First Flight does.
Yeah.
Because if they get hot, can beat anybody in this league. Anybody. And that's why we think that, well, I think it's a wide open tournament. I think it's a wide open Northeastern Coastal Conference tournament. Jaquari Roberson, he's still the man. He has come through in the second half more than once for Hertford County, but he's going to need some help. And that might be what happened here in the breakdown against First Flight. One team, though, I think is trending a bit downward, and that's Northeastern.
Okay.
Northeastern's boys, I watched them against Curry Tuck, and Trey Burton had a great game. He was able to break Northeastern's press quite a few times. Curry Tuck hung around. Shouldn't have. Northeastern went up big early and just let their foot off the gas pedal. We've seen that more than once. But Malcolm, you've seen Northeastern a few more times than I have. Where are you seeing that there's just something not there?
I guess if you had to look at at one spot, maybe point guard, maybe sometimes they get bogged down in the half court. I guess you can say this is where if you had to pick between, Trey Carver or Sean Walker, you can see missing Sean Walker and him being a point guard, and at times him being able to create his own shot. That's where Northeast is kind of missing that. Also, maybe DeMar being a little bit more aggressive at times. It seems like he's kind of goes in the flow.
There's no doubt. If you take the 2, you want Sean Walker back.
Right.
There's no question about that. And it's nothing against Trey Carver. It's just you can get a couple of big guys in there to combine, probably get you near the production of a Trey Carver, like a Ty Lake Overton, like a Travion So Fresh Water So Clean in there to do that. But Sean Walker, there's no leader, no identity right now with this team. Coach Ronald Nixon, he told me the same type of things. I was talking to him afterwards the Curry Tuck game, and I said, well, I almost said Sean Walker, and I stopped. He said, go ahead, say it. We're missing Walker. Go ahead. He knew what I was thinking, and that's what I was thinking. I mean, they have Walker. They sweep Hereford County. Easy assessment?
At least get one of them.
Right. And I'm saying sweep. This is a whole new Eagles team. It seemed like early on, Northeastern was using that as motivation. What Coach told me was early on, they were hearing the talk from people going, you're not going to be as good without Sean Walker. He's now at High Point doing big things. You're not going to be, you need him and you don't have him. And they use that as fuel to have that good start, to once again go through the Hertford County Christmas tournament without a problem. And I guess now it's starting to show, and they're losing some of that mojo. And this is not the time you want to lose that mojo. You're going into the last week of the regular season conference tournament. You want to get a couple more victories, maybe help your playoff seeding, because right now, Northeastern would probably be home first round, could very easily be on the road second round. And the 2A East is a gauntlet of teams. Green Central just beat Kinston like a drum at Kinston, like by 30 or 30, 40 some points. Last week I read. So Green Central's good. Northside Jacksonville's good. They're both undefeated. They've got to be the teams. Everyone's shooting to get past. Fairmont's still decent. You never count out Kinston. Farmville Central's playing better. You know what Tyler May can do. So the 2A East is really brutal. It's the type of bracket this year that if you get to the third round, you're really good. If you just get to the third round, you're really good. I don't know if Northeastern gets there this year. Not playing like they did against Currituck and not playing like they did against Bertie, only winning by 3. I do know that. One coach was telling me, though, the strategy, it seems like from Northeastern, just bully teams since you have the overall talent. And that's okay. That's good enough to get you wins around here for the most part. But once you get, once again, conference tournament championship, second, third round, talent level is nearly even, coaching is good. That's not an option. So Northeastern, the most talented team, I believe, in the conference. That would be hard to argue still. Clifford Shaw, DeMar Sutton, Garfield Brown. You've got the guys. Everyone sees that. But are they going to be able to come together here soon? They're the Duke of the Northeastern Coastal Conference.
Okay.
The pieces, the talent, sort of, but it's just not so much all that drama from Duke, but the idea of not quite meshing still as a team. And will that work out in time? But this is a team that brings virtually everybody back next year. I know the future looks really good, but I still think they need that guard.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's coming up through middle school that could just be some incredible freshman. Right. Sean Walker's not always walking. Sean Walker's not walking through that door.
Right.
Little Rick Pitino, yeah. Larry Bird's not walking through. Sean Walker's not walking back through that door.
Yeah, he's not hiding at Victory Christian.
He's not. No, he's not. Go to Victory Christian Albemarle School and see what we can find. Yep. I don't think they're there. I mean, that's just how it is. Wow. So again, final stretch of the basketball season of the conference postseason starting next week. And this is why Malcolm is just really jotting down a lot of stuff right now. He's trying to do his last minute study, and I don't blame him because I'm going to whip his tail in this. We're going to put together our own Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven being he's Team Malcolm, I'm Team Owen. We're going to draft a player from both the Coastal 10 and Northeastern Coastal Conferences, have like an NENC all-star group for boys and girls. Obviously 7 players, boys, 7 players, girls. I'm so confident what I got going on here. I mean, I got backups for backups if you pick somebody that I wanted. Okay. I'm feeling so good. I'm going to let you pick first. We're going to start with the girls. Okay. Who would you have? Your Magnificent Seven, Team Malcolm, number 1 pick for the girls?
I guess obviously I got to go with Brittany Franklin out at Plymouth.
That's cool. It's cool. University of Kansas signee. I can understand that. Let me get my first one out of the way. I'm going to go with Brianna Proctor, Northeastern. Go ahead and get my 1,000 rebounds in the mix here. So back to you. Second pick for the girls.
I'm going to stick in the Coastal 10. I'm going to go with Sydney Austin out at Okokomo.
Oh, that does kind of hurt. That kind of hurts. That's okay, though. Mm-hmm. It's all right. I'm going to need some guard play. I can go a few ways. Maybe Akia King. Okay. Or Bertie. She's capable enough. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with a player who's a little bit two-way. I'm going to go with J.C. Staples at Camden.
Ah, see, yeah, can't go wrong with J.C. Staples. Yeah. She handles the ball. She plays all 5 positions. Yeah. That's not bad at all. You did some work late. You're doing some work late. You're starting to figure this out. You had it in your head. I'm going with Lindsay Likens from Currituck. I mean, I've been impressed with her improvement this year from last year. She was an all-area player last year, so not like it was a stretch. But this year, she's really showing that I enjoy basketball. Mm-hmm. Yes, softball's my thing. That's where I'm going to play in college. But she's just as tenacious on the basketball court as she is on the softball field.
I'm going to go with the distributor, a hard-nosed player. I'm going to go with Jessica Smith at Currituck.
Pound for pound, like I've said, the toughest female athlete in the Northeast corner. I think she's about 5'1". Mm-hmm. But I tell you what, she's strong. Ask Currituck wrestling coach Paul Bossy, this little boss fit exercises that he does about Jessica Smith, and how strong she is. Wow. Girl strong. I think she does weightlifting competitions with some of Bossy's teams.
Wow. Don't cross her.
I told you, pound for pound. and more pounds from other people. She's that tough. Wow, let's see. What are we up to now? You got 4, so I need my 4th selection for the Magnificent 7. I need a shooter. I'm going to go with Lauren Gurney of Currituck.
Okay. I'm going to go to Bertie. I'm going to go with Autumn Mornings.
Okay. Good. Just signed with Cape Fear Community College, I believe. That's another good one. Can't go wrong with a lot of people on Bertie. Mm-hmm. So now we're into, let's see, this will be my 5th pick. And I'll take Jakira Jackson from Edenton. I mean, we're talking a player that's, Edenton's got about 45 seniors on the team.
Yes.
Like that. I think it's 10 or 11 actually for Coach David Peeler and his bunch. But she's the one that stands out above the most. The one that if they need a shot, they go to her. She's going to average double figures. She already does. So, and another quality guard.
I'm going to go with Zakiya Lumpson at Perquimans. Good sized girl. She can actually, handle the ball. Arguably maybe the best ball handler on the team. I'm going to go with her.
Okay. Now we're up to 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this will be my 6th pick. Amaya Simpson from Pasquotank. I think she can play nearly every position as well. And she's been able to hold her own against Brianna Proctor. What happens when you have them both on the same team, baby? Pasquotank and Northeastern opposed.
Twin Towers.
Well, actually, I got to pull her out to like a 3 because I got Likens there. Mm-hmm. I got Likens, and of course it's a 7. So I mean, 2 will be moving in and out off the bench. But that's nice right there. I already got a victory. But go ahead and pick your guys. Pick your girls.
My last one, Brisha Moreno at Ocracoke. Second scorer on the team.
Oh, I didn't even have that on my list. You pulling out something here. Okay. All right. So this is my last pick. 4, 5, 6. Let's see. I'm going to go with Deja Williams from Pasquotank. She's another player that I think is a very competitive player. She gets fueled up to play a Northeastern, teams like that. That's where you see her really show out. And I like her a lot. So, let's see some of these matchups. So let's look at this real quick. I mean, let's go with the Likens versus Staples matchup. Mm-hmm. That would be something. Mm-hmm. Franklin against Proctor. That's something you don't see. They're 2 different conferences. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I mean, who's going to grab all the rebounds in that one?
I don't know. I mean, Proctor's not going to get 40. Well, maybe they both get 40. Who knows how many shots are taken in this game, and how many minutes we're going to use in a game like this because these players are so good. I had a couple others that I would have had as notables. McCray Knapp, another girl that's just so tenacious. Mm-hmm. I love her fight. I mean, and she can handle the ball just nearly, I would say, as well as Zakiya Lumpson. I'll go ahead and put her even with her. Chelsea Nixon from Perquimans. So you got Knapp and Nixon from Perquimans. Carlisa Spivey from Bertie with somebody else. So these are notables, once again, that didn't take off the board. But those would be people, too, that you could consider. But this is a magnificent 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sticking with the 7. I'm not changing the game plan. That's the girls.
You want the first pick on the boys?
I want to go back to the girls again because I want one more matchup. Okay. Sydney Austin and Lauren Gurney. Who wins in the 3-point shooting contest?
Oh, that's pretty nice. Oh, man.
Actually, Austin can go inside out, I think. So
I gotta go with Austin.
Okay. Because she's on your team.
Of course. I want to win.
All right. Yeah, now we go to the boys. I'm going to go first, Ja'Cory Roberson.
Understandable.
You pick the girls first. We're even it out.
It's all good. Man, after watching Tuesday's game, I have to go with Trey Burton. I mean, young man can handle the ball. He's got a good jump shot, 4-point play, shot at the end of the buzzer. I mean, he's got the repertoire in terms of the jump shot. Talking to other coaches, they just rave about the young man.
You're killing me, Smalls. Killing me with the Trey Burton. I wanted Trey Burton bad, but I felt like Roberson has been the man most of this year. Wake Forest commit for football, who I've said, Wake might want to try him out for a little basketball. Just put him on the sideline. It never hurts. Put him on the sideline, see what works out. Mm-hmm. Next pick, I'm going to go with Malik Leach from Burquemines. I know what you're saying, and that's kind of early in the process to go with Malik Leach. Malik Leach is like the Trey Burton of the Coastal 10 Conference, if you watch this kid play. Maybe not as polished as Trey Burton. Sat out last year, so he's still got some time, but he reminds me a lot of Trey Burton. So Malik Leach from Burquemines.
I'm going to go with the players kind of at times a little tweener. I'm going to go with Dallas Hall of Burquemines.
I was really looking at Dallas. He had 28 points against Gates in that overtime victory. He is definitely, I don't know if you want to say most improved player from last year to this year. If you want to use that title, he would be in the mix. That's not bad at all. I need a shooter, Zach Roberson from Camden. We've talked about him and his abilities. And this year, he had 103s last year, which is unbelievable. He beat the great Ricky Craniac's record of 89 in the season for Camden. Only got 52 this year. Well, probably had a few more. I haven't looked at the full stats from the Plymouth win. Won't get the 100. Probably wouldn't catch Ricky's old record either, but he is doing so many other things to help the team win. Very unselfish as well, but selfish when needed. He'll go to the basket when that's something I never saw him do 2 years ago. Like he will use his body. He's gotten a little bigger, of course, will weight room help. He'll get to that basket. He'll shield off defenders, and he can use either hand to go in for baskets. He's definitely worked on every weakness he's had each year, and that's what you want to see out of a player, and that's what you see out of players with good coaching.
Correct.
And I know we gush over Mark Harnley every year, and this year has to be no different because we've talked about their tallest players 5 foot. I mean, 5'3", something like that. Short team.
Yeah, I can't talk, so I'm just gonna.
I can't either. I mean, it's not like I'm 6'4" or anything. The only guy that can talk in the radio booth would be Clay Mercer if he had a mic right now, because he'd be the only guy with height that could say, without a doubt, short team at Camden. But Zach Roberson is definitely a leader on that team. So Zach Roberson, that's my number 3 pick.
I think I sum up. I'm gonna keep it at Camden. I'm going with J.R. Williams.
Okay. This is a guy that can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once again, he's played the 5.
Yes.
Again, the height
issue,
but he play the 5 and facilitate. He can penetrate and kick out to those shooters. It's not just Zach Roberson, but Brock Colson as well. And Camden has just somehow found a way to possibly win this conference championship. It's something. It's something. I mean, what they've been able to do with what they've got. So now back to me, and I need somebody on the inside. I'm going to take Devin Dodson from First Flight. Obviously, he did some damage against Hereford County in that dub on Wednesday, 19 points. So Devin Dodson might be the best big man in the Northeastern Coastal Conference. Go ahead.
Yeah. No argument for me.
Yeah. Your pick's next.
There's a lot of talent still available. I'll go with Laveron Randall at Edenton. Lavernon Randall. There you go.
Laverty Randall?
Yes.
Isn't that a store? You're going to Laverty's.
There you go.
Hey, where are you going tonight? I'm going to hang out at Laverty's Randall's. Sounds like a bar.
Yes.
Laverty Randall. Lavernon Randall. Now you got me saying it. Definitely a good pickup there. Nice guard. Senior. Right?
Believe so.
Yeah. Whew. Sometimes these kids grow up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
I need somebody else there in the paint that when he's on, he's as good as anybody in the league, and that's DeMar Sutton, Northeastern. Imagine I got Roberson and Sutton.
Yeah.
And Devin Dodson for First Flight. And I'm already beating your tail again. What is this? This is getting too easy. But go ahead.
All right. He's a little undersized, but he's a scorer when he's on. I'm gonna go with Robert Walker out of Gates.
Not bad at all. I would like to think he's in the running for Conference Player of the Year in the Coastal 10. You got to give him a vote or two. I want another shooter. Because I like Dylan Blake from First Flight. I want to put him on here. He's just a freshman. You look at him, you think he's in 5th grade. He's not, folks. He's a freshman, and this kid is just going to keep on getting better. He's Jack Constance. We talked about him a lot. Now he's at UNC Greensboro, one of the best shooters we've had around here in years. This Dylan Blake kid, he's going places. He could break some Constanza records. What did he hit? Like 11 threes against Bertie or something at Bertie, the game that went like 120 to 107. He hit double-digit threes. I know that. And he has like all these green lights all around him. Just go ahead and go.
Absolutely.
Coach Chad Williams gets upset when he passes on a three, even though he's like 2 people in his face. He really does. He gets upset about that. Then he gets mad and he wants to get up a set. Virginia. I'm like, I don't know what set that is, Coach, but it sounds cool, I guess. Dylan Blake from First Flight. That would be my, let's see now, 6th pick.
All righty. I'm going. I need a little bit of size. I'm going to go with Corey Jackson, Pasquotank.
Big Corey. And Big Corey. Double-double guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get you a double-double nearly every night in the conference. And that's definitely somebody you just can't take off the block. He's going to sit there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to muscle your way to get past him. So now I'm down to my last pick. And, I mean, I feel like I've got good enough guard play just with Leach, even though I've got the shooters with Blake and Roberson, and they can carry the ball up the court if need be. You know what, though? I'm going to go with Clifford Shaw from Northeastern. I want a little – I want more scoring. I can't have enough scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I like the scoring. And Clifford Shaw will be my man.
I'm going to go with Nick McDonald at Curry Tuck.
Okay.
Another shooter on the outside.
Yeah, he's a bit off my radar, but right around the fringe guy. So a couple notables that I had listed as well. Avion James, Pasquotank.
Yeah, had him on my list.
Joshua Downing, leading scorer for Plymouth. And the top cat in the league, Garfield Brown.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
There.
There it is. Had to use it. Couldn't there be a guy on the team named Opie? Just that would be wonderful.
It'd be nice.
Opie Shaw. I mean, maybe Clifford's brother. No. Wait a minute. Clifford the Big Red Dog. So we've got Garfield Brown, the cat, and Clifford the Big Red Dog Shaw.
Very nice.
Okay. These are the dumb things I bring up because I don't have enough analysis on things that really matter on the show. That is why I bring up these things to do my best to liven it up. But matchups here. Dallas Hall and Ja'Cory Roberson.
Very nice.
Hall's got some height.
Got some length to him, too.
I think he could disrupt Roberson a little bit. I think my boy Ja'Cory Roberson, though, maybe steals the show.
Dallas, he's got that heart. He's starting to roll right now. I'm going to go with my boy.
Dallas Hall shows he can do it in the weight room. when he pulled that ball away from Keyshawn Lighty from Camden, just tore it from him and made a basket. Dallas, don't shoot that. Oh, okay. Dallas Hall, go ahead.
There you go.
There's that matchup. Let's see what you got for a shooter. Who is your shooter out of this bunch? Would it be Burton?
Yeah, Trey.
I guess Burton's your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Burton against Malik Leach. Now, again, I call Malik. I don't want to say poor man's Trey Burton, even though I just said those words. I don't want to put him in that mindset, but they play similar. They have similar styles. I think that would be fun to watch. I think Malik Leach would be up for the challenge.
Absolutely.
Trey Burton, the elder statesman, maybe I give him a slight edge there. But you can't beat my shooters. Like, my shooters just take over. I mean, I got Zach Roberson. I got Dylan Blake. Dylan Blake could be, I think he might get a vote for Player of the Year in the conference. I think he at least get a vote. DeMar Sutton, though, he's a guy that can get right in there and get dirty. He could be like a post guy if need be with his leaping ability. So I like him. And Randall, that's another guy who's had some good nights for the Edenton Aces. Robert Walker, I've always said he's like that guy he goes under the radar in this conference, but look what he's done for Gates football and then for basketball this year. And Clifford Shaw, as good of a scorer, Sutton, I think they're hand in hand this year. When we had preseason Player of the Year, DeMar Sutton, now I might put Shaw right there with him, even though I still got Jaquari Roberson of Hertford County winning the conference Player of the Year. Okay, now what do y'all think? We want to hear from you about your teams. Are you Team Owen or are you Team Malcolm? I think we know the answer, but we have to do these things just to keep up appearances and have a little friendly debate. But I thought that was good. I thought we had some good players. It would be a tough one to see who wins, boys and girls. Let's take a timeout. We'll have more Northeastern North Carolina athletics.
Like our Facebook page and give us your questions and comments. Find us at facebook.com/NENC Sports.
I'm a student athlete, which means I'm still learning.
I'm still growing.
I'm getting important lessons about perseverance, teamwork,
determination, respect, and dedication through playing sports at my school.
Mom, Dad, Coach, in a few years,
I'll probably forget a lot of the details, but I won't forget the lessons I learned
from the way you act towards my teammates,
coaches, referees, and other fans.
What kind of lesson do you want me to learn? I'm watching.
Sportsmanship, together we make the right call.
This message has been brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association.
Whew, I gotta cool down for a minute. You know why? Because my teams are so hot. Team Owen coming at you.
Nah, we got something for you.
I got nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, we got these dubs. That's what we got.
Got the dubs. No. I got victories. I'm not using slang. Victories is what I have. Pasquotank Wrestling's Anthony Bonner is 21-2 at 182 pounds and favored to advance to the 2A state tournament at this weekend's 2A East Regional Tournament hosted by Farmville Central. Malcolm, I enjoyed talking to Anthony Bonner. He's very well spoken. Gives a great interview. Had a lot of insight from his past couple of years, some mistakes he made along the way, but now that he's really fired up, and people will hear it on this interview that he is fired up, ready to go. He's excited about Pasquotank, excited about his chances of, for the first time, becoming a state qualifier. So let's hear more from the senior. Senior year at Pasquotank Wrestling. You've been here all 4 years wrestling. You're one of only 3 guys that have, like I say, stuck it out when things got really down. Were you considering at any point, I'm just going to quit wrestling, everyone else is quitting the school? And
well, I'm sure you heard I was out 1 year already for a bit of a dumb mistake. And I mean, when I came back, I kind of lost my motivation coming in. But when I saw we had a new coach that rejuvenated the school, I was kind of excited to see the life come back to the program from because as you just said, I wrestled 2 years ago. I was one of the only ones that stuck it out. Me, JD, and JD had left me because he didn't get along with the coach. So, I mean, yeah, everybody has a thought to quit every once in a while, but the motivation of it is that I have a family, I have a future looking forward in this, and I want to make something of it. When you hear P-Tank's name, you don't think anything of it, But when I hear P-Tank's name, I think of potential. Honestly, that's all I want. I want to see these people succeed. I don't even care if I don't get first this year. Of course I want first, but to see the future prospects come up and take it just makes me happy.
So instead of P-Tank, P-potential.
Yeah. There we go.
Like you said, you stepped away for a while.
Yes, sir.
For the mistake you made. What have you learned from that?
Coming back into it, I never stopped. Even coming out of the sport, I always stuck to a part of the game. Jiu-jitsu. I did that, and I went and got second in the world for a world tournament. So I was always excited to come back. I was always thinking about it all. The season I missed, this, that. I could have been a state champion last year, but now I'm coming back, and it hurts coming into the season and losing against a guy I know I can beat. So I'm just hoping I can go here this weekend and dominate.
How has MMA helped you?
MMA has helped me fundamentally and mentally. I mean, without MMA, I don't think I would have gotten into this. Not a lot of people know, but a lot of people here at the school think I enjoy wrestling. I never really enjoyed the sport in middle school. It kind of came at me wrong with the tight suits and stuff. For a young boy, that's kind of impressionable. But, my father introduced it to me, and I realized that if I learned this, I could be better in MMA. That would increase my MMA game exponentially. It would take me to new heights, something that, I couldn't reach without wrestling. Without wrestling, it's not MMA. I mean, all the best fighters have wrestling in their repertoire.
Coach always talks about the reward. You'll get the reward if you put in the work. Did that conference tournament championship signify that to you? Like, this is it. This is exactly what he was talking about.
For me, I felt like my win was, it wasn't just me. It was the fruit of all of our labors to get that, to get that plaque we got for the school. We all came together to win something. It just felt great to have teammates backing me up, something that I hadn't had 2 previous years in wrestling. It felt great to be able to walk out on the mat and know there was a whole team of people behind me believing in me. It really boosted my morale.
How did you and Jediah and Franklin stay together through all of this when the whole program could have folded? It was in that dire straits, it looked like.
JD and Frank and me, Frank came in. I met him the year I got kicked out of school, actually, and I invited him to join the wrestling team. He was an athletic kid. I had seen him play, and he seemed interested. It shocked me. He came out, and, everybody's first year is usually terrible. He did pretty good, but he was highly competitive on the mat, and he surprised me. And when I heard the new coach was coming out, I had talked to him previously before the rest of the season had even started and asked him if he was coming back out. He said, yeah, he was excited to come out with a new coach. It's inspirational to see these boys come back, especially Jediah. I mean, I honestly believe Jediah and him can take states this year. Jediah especially. Jediah is just, he's my main competition in the room. Frank is too. But, we stuck it out together. It's that brotherhood mentality, the wrestling. It's just the blood, sweat, and tears you spill together. You just can't break that type of bond.
State tournament. Being a state qualifier, what would that mean to you?
It would mean the world. I mean, it's not just states. It's my future. My future rides on this next tournament. If this is my last tournament, if I don't win, then it's done. No college is going to call me. They're not going to care about me. I'm going to be a nobody. So I'm stepping up my game this week, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat who I need to beat to get that state qualification. And I'm going to go far in states. I want to take first. I mean, I got the skills. I can back it up.
Ever been to states before?
No, I haven't. I've both years I had. I don't believe in excuses, but I had my first 2 matches. Both years in states, I lost to the same state champion. And it was by the first time I lost by 8 points, and the second time I lost in overtime by 1 point on the stand-up.
Now, you feel pretty confident that Pastor State Wrestling was going to make some type of comeback. Could you have ever imagined what you're seeing now 2 years ago, 11 wrestlers to regionals, a number of guys out, Coach Sutton's got a youth program going, all this in just a matter of 2 years?
For me, this school has, I hate to say it, but this school has let me down numerous times. And honestly, I kind of lost hope halfway through my sophomore year. I just really didn't think it was going to come back. And then Coach Sutton, I heard Coach Sutton was looking for me. He was bringing the wrestling program back. When I had seen that, it filled me with hope to know that such a good wrestling name was willing to stick his neck out for us. It really did renew my hope.
Aaliyah McNeil has transitioned from being the area player of the year last season for Northeastern girls basketball to the starting point guard for the Mid-Atlantic Christian women's basketball team. She described the differences between high school and college.
You're almost done with your freshman year of basketball at school. Was it everything you thought it would be? What were some of the highs and lows?
Actually, it was a pretty fun season. I learned more playing as a guard, playing with the team, and in college it's fast paced, so it's more faster than high school. So I was pretty used to that because I'm a fast guard, but I'm loving it.
What have you had to adapt to the most? It's just the whole college experience. What's one thing you can think of?
You talking about game-wise?
Game-wise, school, anything.
Well, you have to get your priorities straight. Work hard with your studies. Work hard at practice. You gotta balance it out. So that's what I had to learn how to do.
You're playing a lot of minutes. At one point, only 6 players. Now 7. Is fatigue starting to set in second half? How are you keeping yourself refreshed?
Well, actually, I'm staying hydrated. That's mainly it, staying hydrated.
You went to Greensboro last time and played them and lost by 33 points. Tonight, a different story. What was the difference?
Teamwork. We actually was communicating on defense, on offense. We was moving the ball very well. We was getting back on defense. Mainly, the big thing was communication this game.
And your mom was last year. You feel her with you when you're out on the basketball court. Do you use her as some motivation to play?
Yes, because I know that she wanted me to play college ball, and she wanted me to give it all I got and everything like that.
Oh. Would you like to stay at MACU? You want to stay here and keep playing?
More than likely, yes.
Mm-hmm. And where do you think this team can improve? What are some things you can do in the off season to get better?
Probably shooting and stuff like that. Defense, working hard in the gym almost every day.
You're giving me a million reasons to let you go. You're giving me a million reasons to quit the show.
We got 1,000 reasons for some of our players.
Absolutely.
Thousands points, rebounds that we've discussed a few times here on the show. Owen Hassel, Malcolm Shields with you on the NENC Sports Radio Show. Time for a Twitter shout.
Your tweets go here. Twitter shouts.
This from Currituck Girls' basketball player Lindsay Likens. She's at Lindsay_Likens. She tweets, "Are we going to casually pretend like Trey Burton didn't drop 40 points tonight?" Meaning Tuesday against Pasquotank. Malcolm, you had 37. She said the book had 40. But then Coach Matt Lutz said 37.
Correct.
And you always have to check those things later. I can understand that. Either way, though, a monster night for, I've put it out there, perhaps the league's best point guard that you somehow snuck on your team.
Yes.
Team Malcolm.
Yes.
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 I mean, you watched him play. I want you to.
Yeah, I mean, the young man's special. I mean, he carried Currituck there for 3 quarters, but give credit to Pasquotank. They made an adjustment and they were kind of limiting him, and the Panthers made on the roll. But again, Trey Burton, outstanding basketball player.
Yeah, his growth from junior to senior year has been impressive. But even early this year, I watched him play at Camden. He'd have a couple of plays where he broke down defenses and really gave a chance for others to contribute. But then a couple other plays, he'd come down and throw the ball at the wall or something, just really trying to force it. I'm going, that's some of that inconsistent Trey Burton I've seen the past couple of years, but he's really been able to become more consistent. And as he's become more consistent, so has the Currituck basketball team, still fighting for a playoff berth. 11-11, I believe, right now. They're either at 500 or just below 500. They're right there. They're on the cusp. I know that Pasquotank loss stung because they knew, well, now they got Northeastern and First Flight the rest of the week and then the conference tournament. That's going to make things very difficult for the Knights. But let's put it like this. They haven't won 10 or more games in a season in 10 years. These are, I know they're small things, but that is enough to have some faith in what Curry Tuck basketball used to be. And Clay Mercer is shaking his head. Yes, what it used to be. I understand that because he played for Curry Tuck. We're talking about a program that's won a state championship. I realize that was 31 years ago, but still a program that's won one.
Yep, they all count.
People remember these things. And then the old folks in Curry Tuck, I want to say old folks. I was alive back then. I was in grade school. So yeah, not that old. But people remember those things. And there's a big old banner that shows it right up there. 1A state champions, 1986, Curry Tuck. First game ever played in the Dean Smith Center.
Very nice.
High school game in the Dean Smith Center. So a lot of trivia there. I think we've mentioned that a few times on the show, and I'm getting off topic. But Trey Burton, again, a monster night. He had 22, I believe, against Northeastern last Friday. So a number of big games for the senior. Of course, we encourage all of you to tweet about NENC Sports, and yours might get put on the air. You have thoughts, you have questions, anything else regarding athletics in Northeastern North Carolina, we'll try to answer them. Use the hashtag NENC Sports. We're talking more high schools coverage. State swimming championships, 1A and 2A at the Triangle Aquatic Center on Thursday. Emily Bro last weekend won the 1A, 2A East Regional in the 100 backstroke. She's going to be in 3 different events Tuesday, 2 of those one of those being relays. Also, Juliana Connor from Northeastern will be in 3 events on Thursday. Camden and Curry Tuck boys, they're going to have relays competing as well. Hunter Crook from First Flight, 2-time regional champ in distance events. Of course, we know Ethan Jones from Camden. He's going to be there in relays and individual events. So will Brock Robertson from Camden boys have had a tremendous year. Always said that they were in the Northeastern Coastal Conference for swimming. They would have won that as well. It's a bit of a shame that you don't have a separate 1A swimming championship, state championship. If you did, Camden, I think, would finish in the top 5 in the state at least. That's how well the swimmers are doing at Camden, little old Camden, and making things happen. They finished 9th, by the way, in the 1A, 2A regional.
Impressive.
And about 6, maybe 7 of the schools ahead of them were 2A. That just gives you an idea of where they could stand if there was just a separate 1A state championship. But there's just not enough 1A schools, of course, in swimming to do that. 1A, 2A indoor track championship set for Winston-Salem this weekend. Of course, Northeastern, Curry Tuck, Eatonton athletes, a bunch of them going to be involved. They're about the only schools in Northeastern North Carolina with indoor track. Indoor track is a thing that it's really used to help out for the outdoor season, and a lot of times they're competing outside during indoor. The only time they're competing indoors, they go to Boo Williams and Hampton. That's really like the closest track for what they need to this area. Winston-Salem has an indoor track that they compete in each year for the state title. 2A East Regional Wrestling, already noted that with Anthony Bonner, guys from Curry Tuck, Northeastern, Pasquotank, First Flight, Edenton. We could see 3 regional champs, Malcolm, from First Flight alone, just from the Nighthawks. Arian Lee, Jeremiah Derby, Carlos Martinez. Derby, Martinez, defending state champions. You got to think they're going to be favorites again. Jeremiah Derby and Javion Bassnight from Pasquotank. These two might have another epic matchup in the regional, maybe the regional final, which means both go to states. But regardless, that could be another fun one. Derby outlasted Bassnight in the conference tournament. Bassnight definitely a capable wrestler that could make some damage, do some damage again in the state tournament. He's a previous state qualifier. So Pasquotank wrestling having a great year. Curry Tuck wrestling, of course, won the conference championship regular season. So wrestling, indoor track, swimming, all getting down to the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
Or the gritty nitties,
yes,
as we sometimes say on the show. Now the college basketball, because we had this one circled for a while, Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
ECSU at home against Lincoln, PA. If ECSU men were going to win a game, of course, we didn't expect the win at Winston-Salem State, but it happened. Congratulations. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen against Lincoln at the Vaughn Center. It did. The men. How did it break down?
ECSU just did enough down the stretch. Jamonte Miles, he hit a couple of jump shots. Jordan Jones hit some baskets. John Mader made a play. Just, the things that they've been struggling with, just making the simple, small plays down the stretch, they were able to make that. And credit to the Vikings. They got a home win for the first time in a long time this season. So,
and the ECSU women beating Lincoln 66-64, players in double figures led by Jalen Brown, 21 points, big shots in the second half when the shots were starting to not fall, has been the case almost all year for the Lady Vikings. The first half shot 56% from the field, which is by far their best half. I mean, I didn't have to look it up. I asked John Hill, the coach, and he said, yeah, I don't have to look it up either. I've seen this team. 56%, fantastic. Obviously calmed down the second half, but again, Jalen Brown, when they needed her, she came through each and every time. And then some big free throws by Shalise Greenwood and Jasmine Nixon to secure that victory. First win in the CIAA North for ECSU. First win overall in about 2 months. First win for ECSU women in 2017. The last one was against St. Aug's at home back December 15th, I believe, when they were playing some Southern Division teams. They had beaten Shaw and St. Aug's back-to-back. They got the Raleigh sweep. Mm-hmm. And then that has been it. Lost 11 straight until Wednesday night, beating Lincoln. Lincoln was a team, Malcolm, that beat ECSU in Pennsylvania by 44 points. So what a difference. Yeah. I didn't see any players that were left or anything that had changed on that end. Just ECSU got out to hot early and was able to hold on. When Lincoln made its runs, ECSU did just enough to get this victory. And at this point, a victory is just a victory. I mean, you got to have it. Some type of momentum, something going to the CIAA tournament, because that's coming up soon. Mm-hmm. That's right here on the horizon. I guess it's a pretty easy question to answer, maybe, but between the men or women, who wins a tournament game?
I believe with the CIAA tournament, it's North and South. They split the first one. I'm gonna go with the women. I think Coach Hill will find some sort of game plan and play at their pace, depending on the matchup. I think the women will have a good chance.
Yeah. Even though the men have, it seems like, not quite given up on the year. I mean, the way they fought back to beat Lincoln, it does seem like there's a few more pieces to the women's team that if they're shooting around that 56% first half again, maybe in that first round game, can pull out a victory and go on for another day. But obviously, when you're that low in a division, you're going to have to play a bunch of games if you want to even dream about the final. That's just a situation ECSU is in, both men and women. MACU women against Greensboro, Mid-Atlantic Christian, of course. Leah McNeil, 19 points. Lost those 65-53. Teams combined for 50 turnovers. Lady Mustangs had 27 of them. I know what you're thinking, Malcolm. MACU had 40 of them. No. Stop being so negative. Not the case. 27. It was 27-23, so pretty even there. Greensboro was definitely helping out MACU. The officials thought the game was at 7. The game was really at 5.
Oh, boy.
They didn't show up till 6. And they just come walking in there. I'm like, y'all need to get your tails on this court and ready to go. Don't act like you're just walking in like we're just warming up for no reason. Greensboro wanted to play the game early because of the drive back. I understood that. And that was on the officials. Neil Allagood had the right time. They messed up. So they're coming from Virginia, so it's not like they're just down the street. So you're waiting for them to show up. The game tips off. Greensboro forgets what basket they're at. And they throw the ball behind them. And the girls and as they're yelling at each other, no, we're over there, the ball just dribbles away and goes out of bounds. That's the craziest thing. So MACU gets the ball. Well, then MACU just turns it over, and gives it back to Greensboro, and all of a sudden they're up like 9-0 in a blink of an eye. I'm going, this could get really bad because Greensboro has beaten MACU by an average of like 35, 40 points a season. But dang if the Lady Mustangs didn't hang in there, fought back. Talitha Alexander had a chance to hit a 3 and give MACU the lead. They were down 2, just missed. And only 7 players for MACU, and you could see that fatigue was going to start showing up. Greensboro was throwing in 3 or 4 subs at one time, and it started to really show. And probably one difference is, even though the turnovers were nearly even, Mackey's probably hurt them more than Greensboro's the other way around. There were a lot of them were in the half court, at mid court, and allowing for some easy Greensboro buckets, so that didn't help either. But it is another sign of improvement. I mean, crazy enough to say that a loss is a sign of improvement for Mackey. It is. It's a 12-point loss. Put in a lot of fight in that game. Team is 9-13. Got Christentum at home Saturday. This is kind of like their rivalry game, they call it. If there's a rival, it's Christentum. They're about the same size schools. The schools in Front Royal, Virginia. They come down. The men and women are playing on Saturday against Christentum. So Mackey men, though, Malcolm.
Yeah, they had a Princeton on Tuesday night, and they fell short against them. Credit to them. They got the first win in a long time against Apprentice at Chess and Gym last week. Just wasn't able to kind of put it together.
And at this point, it looks like that Bible College NIT that they will be hosting late next week could be the end of the season for Mackey after that. I don't know if they'll get a bid to the United States Collegiate Athletic Association's mouthful, Division II national tournament. And the women are very likely out of the running for that as well. But the women, 9 wins, never had that many in the season. I think once they surpassed 5, they broke that mark. So another goal reached, and the men trying to at least win some postseason tournament had the chance to do it at home. Will be a nice event. There's usually about 6 or 8 teams in this. A lot of teams of similar skills, size schools. Like I said, they call it the Bible College NIT. So looking forward to seeing that at Chess and Gym. Well, guess we got to cue the music. Don't say goodnight.
Very nice.
Why do we have to say goodnight? But we have to. We can't keep going on the show. We're going to be cutting into the quiet storm hour on WRVS. Well, there's some Sade in there. Smokey Robinson, something. I don't want to cut into that. I want to hear it myself. That's why I'm getting off right now. But follow us on Twitter, of course, as always, at NENC Sports. I'm an ONOBX, Malcolm.
I'm at Malcolm_Shields.
That's for the latest sports updates. And we go beyond our radio time a good bit. If that's the case, go to YouTube if you're not listening on YouTube already. Search for either WRVS 89.9 or NENC Sports. For One Hassel and Malcolm Shields, it's the NENC, and don't you see, athletes live here.
NENC Sports Radio Show is produced at the WRVS-FM studios on the campus of Elizabeth City State University.